The Lord be with you. This is a continuation of looking at who God is calling us to reach. And this is meant to, spark our thinking, spark our curiosity, how it is that we can think about who God is calling us to reach with the gospel of Jesus Christ, the who of among the nations. So we know we're called to make disciples of all nations. That's a big job to make disciples of 8 billion people. So how do we do it? And the answer is, one person at a time, and starting with the people God has placed right around us. So this is the Acts 1:8 model. Jesus's words to his 12: "You will receive power when the Holy Spirit has come upon you, and you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem and in all Judea and Samaria and to the ends of the earth." Someone asked in a council meeting, well, what are we to do in the meantime? Jesus told his disciples, wait. Wait till the Holy Spirit comes upon you with power. And so that's kind of what I'm looking for, is a clear direction of, let's start with the question of who God is calling us to reach before we start reaching out to them. So if you think in terms of Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, the ends of the earth, in that immediate context, before we make this into a metaphor, Jerusalem was where, was the central hub of Judaism. It's where, pretty much 100% Jews who lived there. They all believed pretty much the law and the prophets. They were the people that the Christian Jews, the followers of Jesus, were. These were their people. Judea is the wider surrounding area, and you've got people, again, who are Jews who believe the law and the prophets. Samaria, this is another class, kind of a second class, people that they looked down upon. And so here you can think in terms of, the widows, the orphans, the outcasts, and the ends of the earth then is, well, the ends of the earth. Here's the way one guy did it, David O. Williams. So Jerusalem would be people who are geographically close, culturally close, and relationally close. If you want to think in those terms, these are people who are like you, they live next to you, and you already have a good relationship with them. Judea would be geographically close, culturally close, and relationally distant. So people who are like you, they live close by, but you don't have necessarily a very good relationship with them. The Samaria, geographically close, culturally distant, relationally distant. So these are people who they're not like you, and you don't have a very good relationship with them. You're a different culture than they are. The ends of the earth, geographically distant, culturally distant, relationally distant. And if you want to think in these terms of just, missions and ministries, that we have a certain obligation to have missions and ministries throughout wherever it is, the world, and however you want to determine that. But if you want to think in terms of, who we're called to reach at each level of these, and might look at different ministries or different outreaches to these groups of people and say, oh, God is calling us to reach out to those people who are like us, but our relationship isn't so good, or they're not like us, they're widows, they're orphans, they're outcasts, they're foreigners. So if you want to think about it in those terms, this might help with the idea of who we're called to reach, just thinking in terms of these four, what he calls spheres of influence, or if you want to just terms of the 4 levels of outreach. All right, God's peace be with you.